معنا نهج حياة جئنا تبصرة عن كل ضلال أعددنا بضع رسالات تحمل نورا للأجيال.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this bite-sized video about Ramadan and your health. I'm wanting to talk about 4 key things. Firstly, that the primary purpose of Ramadan is not your health. Rather, it is taqwa, fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being aware of His presence. Secondly, that it is acknowledged that fasting will weaken you physically. Thirdly, that given our lifestyles, which are often overindulgent, the fast can help to bring about a balance in our lives. And lastly, that what we learn in Ramadan should help us beyond this blessed month. So the primary purpose of Ramadan and the fasting of Ramadan is to gain taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the blessed Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. Surah Al-Baqarah. O believers, we have prescribed fasting for you, as we have done for many nations before, so that you may gain taqwa. Now this taqwa is not achieved by a stroke of luck. Rather, a person has to work on this particular quality of the heart. In fact, a person who has good conduct is achieving this idea of taqwa. The Prophet ﷺ has said in hadith mentioned in Bukhari from Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet ﷺ said that مَنْ لَمْ يَدَعْ قَوْلَ الزُّورِ وَالْعَمَلَ بِهِ فَلَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ فِي أَنْ يَدَعْ طَعَامَهُ وَشَرَابَهُ. That the one who doesn't leave falsehood and acting upon it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need, has no requirement for him to leave his food and drink. Clearly showing that God-fearingness, God-consciousness is the main act, is the main principal idea behind fasting. If you are able to achieve this from your fasting, then you are certainly going in the right direction. However, if something else, some other benefit comes to you, then so much the better. So the fact that fasting weakens you physically is acknowledged in the blessed Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيدًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. That the one who is ill or traveling, then he must make up those fasts on another occasion. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want things to be difficult for you. He wants them to be easy. So the fact that the fast is weakening you is acknowledged there. So it is important that a believer understands that first and foremost, that it will physically challenge you, and that challenge will lead you to a better spiritual position. The idea that it weakens is highlighted by an incident that occurs during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. We're noticing that the companions were much weaker. The Prophet ﷺ asked them of this, and they said that we were fasting back to back, and he instructed, لا تواصلوا قالوا إنك تواصل. He said, don't have this back to back fasting, but break it in between. And they said to the Prophet ﷺ, but you are performing these fasts back to back. The Prophet ﷺ replied to them, إني لست مثلكم. I'm not like you. إني أبيت يطعمني ربي ويسقيني. My Lord is the one who sustains me. But don't try to copy me in this particular thing. So the idea that the fast is weakening you, and the weakness is not required of you. So why make a task harder than it actually is? The Prophet ﷺ forbade back-to-back fasting. On a side note, that would mean that those who try to skip one of those meals in the night should not be doing so. Rather, a conscious effort must be made to break the fast and then to actually prepare for the next day's fast with the suhoor. Most of our lives are quite overindulgent. We have many blessings around us. We like to occupy our time and be thankful and grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But that has a toll on our bodies, on our health. And even if we find that we are quite healthy, fast is still necessary and important, as we still want to acquire taqwa. But for those who are overindulgent, the fast can act as a rebalancing of the body. In a somewhat weak narration although some scholars have accepted it. It is mentioned in At-Tabarani and also in Nasa'i. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Wasumu tasihhu," fast and restore your health. In contemporary scientific research, we have many people researching the idea of intermittent fasting. They acknowledge that there are many benefits that come out of there. Some have consensus around them. The idea that by fasting, you will cause your blood pressure to become lower, lower your cholesterol. It will even help with your diabetes. And there are various other consequences, positive consequences of this fasting. Furthermore, it may even strengthen your muscles. And it has also been suggested that endorphins, the hormone, the good feel hormone, is secreted into the body. And you may even benefit mentally through this fasting. Even if these benefits are not realized or don't have the scientific backing to give them any clout, for a believer, he fasts. He fasts because it rekindles that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Creator. It gives empathy towards those who are less fortunate. And if an added benefit is that his health is also improved, then that is a blessing that he is grateful and thankful for. However, if one is not going to be sensible during the days of the fasts, then the likelihood of being sensible thereafter is going to be far less. For example, once coming to breaking the fast, to overindulge yourself with spicy food, with fried food, is not a very good option. Rather, something which is healthier. Fruits, for example, are a far greater and better choice. Equally, when coming to preparing to fast for the next day, at the suhoor time, to eat foods that will release energy slowly is far more pertinent and important than anything else. This is the same routine that should be taken outside of Ramadan. It is no different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Kulu washrabu wa la tusrifu." Eat and drink, but don't be excessive. So, as Ramadan will teach us that we are to break fast, to keep the fast and prepare for it in a balanced manner. And during the day when we are hungry, we are empathetic towards those that are less fortunate, realizing the blessings that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us. Then that lesson should be one that we take away with us after Ramadan and live a more happier, balanced life. So the lesson for Ramadan is to be drawn out to the other days. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Innahu la yuhibbul musrifin," that He doesn't like those who are overindulgent. Jazakumullah khair for listening, and please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe below. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
معنا نهج حياة جئنا تبصرة عن كل ضلال أعددنا بضع رسالات تحمل نورا للأجيال.